Okay, I have no idea what I'm looking at. The design of this ship is such a mishmash of shapes that the eye's mind can't make out what it's supposed to be. There's no clear structure to it. Is this the side of the ship? The back? The top? I'm assuming it's the side because there's a door here they enter. But when they go inside, it looks like it has some kind of ball or saucer-like shape, judging from the interior. Silhouettes are very important when it comes to design. Without clear edges, it's almost impossible to garner even an idea of what this thing could look like. And the inside is no better. Everything is made so that it can move in any direction that the director wants. It's almost like a transformer? Yeah, this whole thing just feels like something you'd see in any one of Bay's Transformers movies. And this will not be the last time I bring this up. Here's the really funny thing. If Billy hadn't fallen into the crevice, they would have never found this place. And according to the movie, Rita will enact her plan in 11 days. So, what if Billy never fell? How were the power coins supposed to bring the new Rangers to this location? What's sad is that there are many different ways this could have happened, and I feel many of them could have shortened the length of this movie and kept it from crawling at a snail's pace. Here are some examples you didn't ask for. Upon receiving the power coins, they could have teleported our 5 main characters to the alien ship. Or how about the power coins blink in proximity to the alien ship? What about a sort of psychic message playing in the Rangers' minds? All of them hearing Zordon's voice calling out to them, drawing them towards the ship. What is this David Lynch shit? The movie already has a problem with keeping a consistent tone, but this whole scene feels completely out of place. It's so fucking weird and horrifying, like, Jesus Christ. Weirdly enough, I kinda like it. One thing I noticed while watching this movie is that they use the word kill a lot. Now, no, I'm not some big bubble-blowing baby. I can handle big grown-up words, and I can even handle the death of a character, but I don't know, them using the word kill in this movie feels out of place. When I think Power Rangers, I don't tend to think of them as living in a world with death. That's not to say characters can't die in Power Rangers, I'm sure some do. But it's the way the characters, who are young adults, are so ready and willing to kill someone they don't know.
Rita will have the power to create and destroy worlds.
So let me guess. You want us to kill this woman?
She's evil, yes, but it still feels off. I know I said I liked the idea of Rita being the Green Ranger, and I still do. But I have a huge problem with the idea of Zordon saying that a woman named Rita Repulsa was his friend.
Rita was a ranger too, and my friend.
Like, does their alien language not have a word for repulsive in it?
Hold up. Can any of this Rita stuff be real?
You can't ask, can any of this Rita stuff be real? After just having a goddamn conversation with a fucking wall and a Roomba with legs. The fact that these teenagers didn't stick around just goes to show that they're all kind of assholes. But then again, if they didn't stick around right from the get-go, there probably wouldn't be a movie, right? Bullshit. I call bullshit. How about this? They think they're hot shit and get their asses kicked and realize that they have to grow up in order to stop this threat. When they first encounter Alpha, they all seem really okay with the idea of just killing him to get out of the ship.
We will kill you. Kill me? How?
Why not follow through with that idea? Not killing Alpha, but rather the idea that they all think they're invincible. They think now that they have superpowers and can't be hurt, that they're unbeatable. which isn't so much of a stretch. Even Billy starts to fall into his own hubris, acting like he's the cool guy now. They're all given this task, one that makes them feel important. It gives them purpose in their life. And the power rushes to their heads. They think, we don't need to morph, it's just armor. We can kick Rita's ass by ourselves. And then they proceed to absolutely get wrecked. Not by Rita, but the putties. That way, when they lose, it's not just humiliating, they also learn a lesson. Rita's not at full strength yet, and her fucking henchmen can kick our asses. God damn, we're nothing without those suits. This only works, of course, if we stick to the idea of them having superpowers without the suits, which is still an idea I'm not very fond of. Now, I've said in the past that humor is subjective, incredibly so. But I find it hard to believe that anyone could find this scene funny. In fact, it's kind of horrible. Her mother is screaming at her, suffocating her with questions, hitting the table in anger. Like, what the fuck?
So where were you today? Were you with friends? Do you have any friends? Why are you so tired?
This is the problem. You asked her 4 questions before she's even answered the first.
Because she's like a ghost around here. She needs to start communicating.
June.
Say something. Speak! I just...
Relax.
Okay.
Why is this in a Power Rangers movie? Is this fun? Parents yelling at their children?
Pee in that cup!
Holy fuck! That right there shows some serious trust issues. And I wouldn't be taking this that seriously if the movie itself wasn't taking itself so seriously. That's my major problem with this whole thing. It's so fucking serious. Half the time I feel like I'm watching a Netflix drama about the lives of troubled teens.
You need to morph to get your armor.
Cool. Why don't you give us the armor?
You already have it inside of you. You bring it out by connecting to each other and connecting to the morphing grid.
Okay. So they morph by connecting to each other and connecting to the morphing grid. Fair enough. Except I have a few problems with that. Primarily a small thing called the Power Coins. Earlier in the movie, we actually see the original Yellow Ranger and Zordon himself, the original Red Ranger, remove the Power Coins from their Ranger armor, and when they remove the coins, the armor fades. So how do the Power Coins play into this? Because you can't tell me they don't, they clearly do. Do you need them for the armor or no? That's what they were in the original show. They were the power source for the Power Morphers, the devices that allowed the Power Rangers to morph. But after this scene, where they enter the ship for the first time, the Power Coins just sort of vanish. You never see them again. So why would you include the Power Coins, but not have the Power Morphers in this movie? Do they have to be in this room to morph? No, because Billy does it later on outside of the ship, but he just sort of does it. And to add to the confusion, there's a fucking toy version of the Morpher that's not in the movie! Every toy I've ever seen attached to this movie relates in some way to what's seen in the movie. There's figures of the Rangers, there's figures of the Zords, there's toy masks, and then, oh boy, I'll get to that fucking thing later on. My thinking on this? There's an earlier version of the movie that includes the Morphers. Now, I don't have any proof for this, but I think this for 2 reasons. Firstly, there's footage in the trailers that's just plain not in the movie, so who knows what was cut. And secondly, these Morpher toys came out way before the actual movie did. In fact, the Morpher toys were one of the first things to hit stores before the movie even came out.
Well, if they can't morph, what are we supposed to do?
They'll have to train without armor. Take them down to the pit.
So this is the pit. This is nice, right?
Isn't that just the front door? Why does the area outside of the ship have a name? Why can't they train inside the ship? Actually, wait. are they outside of the ship? Because they form holograms of the putties for the Rangers to train with. So, can the ship project holograms outside the ship? Or are they still in the ship? And good fucking god, the design of the putties, or rather I should say the lack thereof. I guess I can't exactly blame them. I'm not really sure how you would update the putty look. I don't like them. They're just a mishmash of rocks and limbs. I'd like it better if they were more defined, more autonomous looking. That was the point of them, wasn't it? That they were mass-produced monsters made of putty or clay? Perhaps it's just me. I can be fickle when it comes to my monster designs. But usually, I prefer for there to be something going on, design-wise. It doesn't help that they also look so fake. Maybe it's the hologram filter on them. They don't look as terrible later on in the movie, but it kind of hurts that they went with the putties being CGI, given that the Ranger's armor is an actual suit. It might have even been cheaper to put them in costumes. Going back to Legendary Pictures' Godzilla, I like the Mutos. They have a cool look to them. They have a design to them. They're a very sleek red and black insect-like being. They feel at home with some of Godzilla's older foes, like Gigan, who is also a very sleek creature. Once more, this movie feels like it's very much going against the grain of its genre. There's some level of creative flair to the monsters and villains in Power Rangers. It's why I like Rita's look in this movie. She is the most Power Rangers thing in the entire film. I love her costume. I love her staff. The staff is so cool looking. It's like an evil version of Sailor Moon's Moon Scepter. I would kill to own a prop recreation of that thing. It's so badass. While we're talking about Rita, I would like to point out a few things regarding her look. I like Rita's look. I do. Everything about her is great, but when you look at everything else in the movie, she sticks out. Whether it's for the best or the worst, I can't really say, because at the same time, I also really don't like the way she looks. Aside from the bitchin' staff, she looks nothing like Rita Repulsa. Fuck, she looks more like she could be Divatox's sister. Oh, and her gold tooth is stupid. I just noticed a small but important continuity error. Not so much like there was a prop missing from one scene to the next or a character was in the wrong place, but rather a character continuity error. When Zack gets his shit kicked in by the fake putty, you can hear Billy in the background say something. Really? One of the character's traits is that he doesn't really swear. Christ, doesn't even say douchebag.
Down goes douchebag.
Down goes. I can't say that word.
Get your shit together, Power Rangers! Fucking Krispy Kreme. Okay, are they in the ship or not? Because if they aren't in the ship, then why are the Zords propped up like they're on display at a museum? You know what would have been better? If we didn't see the Zords until the end of the movie. Maybe they were scattered around the land and were covered in the rock and soil from thousands of years of natural terraforming. Maybe Zordon says something like, "The battle against Rita will be difficult, more so than ever, since the Zords, your weapons, were lost to time many years ago." And towards the end of the movie, they summon the Zords as a last-ditch effort to fight off the literal army of putties plaguing Angel Grove. And, much like they are wont to do, the Zords come crashing through the earth like the mythical giants they are! Get what I'm saying? Build up just how important the Zords are instead of treating them like they're some sort of carrot at the end of a stick. And while we're here, I don't like the look of the Zords. I don't hate them, but I certainly don't love them either. On their own, they're okay. It's blatantly obvious that someone on the design team either worked on the Michael Bay Transformers movies or was heavily inspired by them, because that's what they look like. Bayformers. At least the color on them is nice, they pop visually. And hey, the T-Rex looks pretty good too. Actually, looking at them all like that just made me realize something. If Rita was a ranger, then where's her Zord? All the other rangers have Zords. So, where's hers? Never mind that, we have bigger problems like what the fuck is that? Ignore the fact that the saber-toothed tiger and mastodon weren't around during the time of the dinosaurs. Everyone knows that, and nobody cares. It's one of the cheesy touches that makes Power Rangers great. That being said, I ask again, what the fuck is that? Once more, never mind the fact that I don't like the look of the Zords. At least the other ones look like the animal they're supposed to represent. That thing isn't a mastodon. It has 6 goddamn legs. What was the thought process on designing this thing? It's not like mastodons aren't badass enough. They're giant elephants. Hell, elephants are badass. You know who else thought elephants were cool? The Persians. And you want to know who found out the hard way how cool they are? Alexander the Great. Bitch was probably sitting there thinking, God damn, I wish I was cool enough to use elephants. They're rad as fuck. Actually, you know what? It's probably a good thing they don't live in a densely populated location. Otherwise, Zack would have horribly injured and possibly even killed tons of people. I can't stress enough how much of an asshole this guy is.
My bad. That's on me right there.
Could have killed yourself or us.
Back off, boss man.
Hey!
He's right, and you had that coming. Can I see that again?
Get out. Training is over for today.
Training is over? How about, Zack, you are no longer a Power Ranger due to your reckless and irresponsible behavior? I can understand his frustration over the team not being able to morph. I can. Rita is mere days away from summoning Goldar and destroying the Earth, and the Rangers aren't nearly ready for it. But he completely ignores Zack's actions as if they never happened.
Hey, guys, look, I'm gonna stay up here tonight. Make a fire. I got some food if you guys want to stay.
Why? Like, no! Nobody likes you. No one. But oh wait, no. The story calls for them to dump all of their emotional baggage so that they can all relate to each other. Including this jerk.
There must be a way to free me from this wall.
Yes, but the irony is that you need these Rangers to morph. If they morph, you can harness that energy to regenerate your body and come back through.
What, Zordon? You can't what? Wait for us dumb kids to morph so that you can come back to life? That's what all this has been about, right? You coming back?
This whole interaction makes no sense. At all. First of all, this whole bullshit about him regenerating his body comes out of nowhere. Never mind the fact that this is lazy writing and that they're using the morphing grid as nothing more than a MacGuffin, but the fact that Jason makes it sound like this could have been a possibility, like he knew this could happen, is never hinted upon. He talks as though he knew Zordon was planning on coming back to life. How he knows this is beyond me. This, again, screams conflict for the sake of conflict. It's also supposed to be a very thinly veiled comparison to the relationship Jason has with his father, which has still yet to be explained.
Sorry to disappoint you. But I don't need to stand here and have you tell me what I did wrong. I can go home and get that.
Can I help you?
Man, the makeup on her face is bad. It looks so cheap. And I think that has to do with the lighting. In the dark, she looks fine, but in the bright lights of this jewelry store, it just doesn't work. Comparing this to what the movie has shown it's capable of doing, I'm kind of disappointed. Also, what the fuck is going on with her outfit? It's like ropes? Ropes and garbage bags? Where are her tits? You can kind of see the vague outline of them, but with a top like that, her titties should be flopping out whenever she moves. Now, I'm not saying that's what I want to happen, so don't get your knickers in a twist. I'm just saying her outfit is fucking weird. It's very confusing, which is probably why you don't see it all that much. Thank God this is the last time you actually see it.
Oh my God.
Kill him!
This movie is weirdly violent, like uncomfortably so. She killed a hobo for the gold in his teeth. I think she just killed 4 other people? On top of the numerous others she's killed off screen?
St. Andrew's Cemetery. Residents of Angel Grove are feeling the shock. Fear has the town on edge. This series of murders has police baffled, as police had linked the loss of gold to each crime scene. What is now being dubbed Angel Grove's Gold Killer is still on the loose.
The movie's kind of grim.
What are you guys thinking about when we're trying to morph?
You must shed your masks to wear this armor.
Think only of each other, and the morphing grid will open to you.
Yeah, I act that way when death is imminent too. Oh wait, no I don't. Don't get me wrong, I do get why this scene is here, I feel like this information could have been given to us in a better way without them all just sitting around talking about their personal problems. Weirdly enough, I do like this scene, but only in a vacuum. It's characters interacting with each other, talking about their personal problems in an attempt to solve an even bigger problem. And some of the acting here is pretty good too. It's just a shame that he's still an asshole, he has problems that never get addressed, her problem is brought up later on, and it's a fucking doozy, and her problem is strangely handled pretty well. No, seriously, I think the way they handle this is very mature. Trini's problem is that her family doesn't seem to be okay with the fact that, well, she's gay. Knowing that makes this whole dinner scene make a bit more sense. Perhaps I'm reading too far into things, but to me, this is a family coming to terms with a gay daughter. It could have been handled better and certainly doesn't fit with the rest of the movie, but at least it makes some level of sense. I finally understand why she is the way she is. And I think the best thing about this is the fact that it's not in your face about it. Her character isn't gay! She's a character that is gay. So congrats, Power Rangers, you did something character related and didn't fuck it up. Kudos.
What about you, dude? Why don't you tell us who you really are?
Because everyone knows exactly who I am.
Okay.
What a fucking cop-out. Everyone else in the movie may know who you are, but the audience sure as fuck don't. I don't get what your problem is. Is it supposed to be father-son issues? If so, what are those issues? Is it supposed to be the pressure of being the town's star quarterback is getting to you and you can't handle all the attention? Is that it? I don't know because the movie doesn't know.
My family is so normal. Too normal. They believe in labels. They'd like for me to dress differently, talk more, have the kind of friends they want me to have. I don't know how to tell them what's really going on with me. And I've never said any of this out loud.
Well, it's cool. You're with us now.
Am I? What does that mean when all this is over? Are you Power Rangers or?
You see, that scene was pretty emotional. And if it were in any other movie, I'd probably be okay with it. But the fact that she follows that big emotional scene up with the line,
Are you Power Rangers or?
just throws the whole thing out of whack. This is what I mean when I say this movie has tone problems. What she was talking about is pretty heavy and very real. And on some level, I can even relate. But the movie is called Power Rangers. To me, this just feels out of place. Why is Rita wet? Okay, out of context, that sounds worse than it actually is, but you know what I mean. Unless Rita has a thing for underage girls. I mean, her name is Rita Repulsa, so...
The Yellow Ranger.
How does she know that? How? How do you know that? Answer me!
Oh, you want your armor? I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Okay, I was joking earlier. We're officially hitting pedophile levels of creepy, especially with that line. Like what the fuck? Did no one in her house hear that? I know a vehicle left, implying her parents aren't home, but what about her two little brothers? They didn't hear the loud crashing of two super beings fighting? Hang on a second, why does Rita look so human? I know she has some facial prosthetics to change the bone structure of her face, but she looks nothing like the female alien we see at the beginning of the movie. Why? I mean, Zordon doesn't look like the female alien either, but that could just be a dimorphism thing. Are they all different alien races? I'd actually like Rita's look even more if she looked like this alien creature. And why does her armor look so different? In the beginning of the movie, we could clearly see that she had a full set of Ranger armor. Perhaps because she's no longer a Ranger, but still has a power coin? If that's the case, then how does she morph? Is she connected to the morphing grid? I doubt that, considering Zordon probably wouldn't be cool with that. Is it her staff? Does her staff have a tiny morphing grid inside of it? Is her staff a morpher? All of these questions won't be answered, along with many more, next time on Marcus Rambles!